Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and doing a quick Hydromod update. So it's been about, I don't know, 6 months, 8 months, it's been a while, and still no leaks, works perfectly still, and definitely makes the watch more legible. So much that I decided to do it to the Rangeman. So I decided to extend this mod because I like it so much to the Rangeman. You can kind of see how dark it makes the watch look. Kind of see it right there. And I just did it today, so you can kind of see it's like a little oil shine to it. And this one was much harder. There's more pieces to it, more parts, so just a little bit more, tedious to do this one. And with this one, you do lose functionality. So just word of caution, if you're interested in doing this mod, you will lose two of your sensors, which is the barometer and altimeter, because those both rely on pressure. The oil, occupies that space, so it doesn't get pressure readings. So when you go to your ABC sensor, you'll notice you got an error for altimeter because it can't read it. Compass still works, unaffected. That's just a magnet, so it doesn't issue. But your barometer also, because your barometer and altimeter work off the same sensor. So just word of caution, but outside of that, everything still works. All the other functionality still works. I wanted to quickly show you what it looks like now with the loom mod. Let me dim the lights here. So, hang on. Let me close the windows. Okay, that's as good as we're gonna get. It's daytime here. So, do a quick test on the loom to see how well that works. And there we go. The loom actually, I feel like, looks a little more vibrant with the oil in there. I think kind of lights it up a little better. But the light still works, so we still got the light functionality. So overall, I'm happy with it. So yeah, obviously you lose the sensors, but that's fine. I mean, to be honest, I just wear this as a regular watch. I don't really ever use the altimeter or barometer. Compass perhaps, but I don't use the other two sensors. And if I ever found myself needing those, I would always still go towards my Instinct 2 or my Epix 2 if I wanted to rely on sensors and kind of do any kind of adventuring. I would still rely on that. But overall, like I said, I'm happy with it. It serves the function, which for me is just to make the watch more legible. I don't really use those sensors, so overall I'm happy with how it turned out. And for this one, I did use silicone oil. So if you're interested in doing this mod, stay tuned. I'm going to now cut over and walk you through the process. It was a long, stressful process. I made some mistakes, but that's just how modding goes. So otherwise, that's it for this one. I will catch you on the next one. Let's roll to the installation. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we are going to be doing a Hydromod to my Rangeman. So as you may have seen in my previous videos, I did Hydromod this bad boy, and I'm so happy with it that I want to do the Rangeman. And to do this, I actually got some better quality oil. So I got some silicone oil. Hopefully it'll actually come out looking even better. And I might even replace this one. So for this one, I use mineral oil, because that's just kind of what I had on hand, and I just wanted to try it. But came out good. So now I'm going to give this one a shot, and let's see how it goes. So one of the first hardest challenges is finding some kind of a vessel to hold your oil, because you're going to be throwing it out. You want it deep enough that you can submerge the watch, but not too big that you waste a lot of oil because you don't get a whole lot. So I've got this old topper from a shaker. I don't need it anymore, so I can toss it afterwards. So I am going to try to use this one. I looked everywhere to try to find like a paper plate, but I did not have one. I did not want to use a real one, so this is what we're going to have to work with, and I just hope that it's going to work. So let's get started. So first things first, to remove the watch straps. Easy. And hope it's not low on battery. And what will be interesting about this watch is that, again, for those that maybe haven't followed, I also have the Lume mod on this watch, so it does glow. So chances are there might be some kind of, dust that is still kind of, coming off. So we'll see how that plays with the oil. And just gonna take off the screws, the back. Ooh, gasket's on there pretty good. And get a couple screw or springs. Okay, and with this one, I'm going to take an extra step of disconnecting the ABC sensor. So you can take the whole module out. So you just got to flick that little tab over here. And then just kind of gently pull it out. Got to be very careful because it's a thin ribbon. And if you tear it, then you're going to lose your ABC sensors. The watch will still work, I think, but the sensors won't. You might have an error on it, but it should work, because when I modded this one time, I actually forgot to plug that in, and I put it back together, and the watch, I believe, functioned. Just you kind of think had like an error. Okay, I think we got it. There we go. Come on. There we go. Got the ribbon out, so now we can take the module out to start the process. Now I would put this somewhere that's gonna kind of stay dust free as much as possible, because you want to get dust back in the oil. And we gotta take this tray out. Okay, now what I learned from doing this one is that there is actually like a sandwich film that holds the solar panel. I didn't realize that till afterwards. So you can kind of see right there. So you gotta kind of, this is it requires a little kind of like squeegeeing type work to shove it, get the oil under that film. I know it's kind of hard to understand, but you just gotta trust me. We'll try to demonstrate it. So we're gonna get some oil in there. I'm just gonna look at it from upside down just to see. Trying to see if this one, I need to do what I do with the other one, where you gotta kind of squeegee it around. You know what, let's try not. I probably could have done this without, but let me just try to see what it would look like if I don't. Because on this one, it's been so long, I can't quite remember now how if I need to like I don't see it working its way in there. So maybe it's basically there's your glass and then your solar panel, and then there's like a piece of clear screen that basically sandwiches the solar panel. And on this one, it got between that sandwich, so then I had to like get like a, you know, do some like pushing around, get the air bubbles out. But on this one, I don't see that happening. So maybe it's a little bit of a tighter seal. So we're gonna take the risk here and hope that maybe I don't need to do it on this one. So we're just gonna get the module back in, and we're actually gonna close it up. If that's the case, this will be super easy then. That was the hardest part, was to get that air bubbles out from that screen. This part can get a little tricky too, trying to get this module past all the springs. There we go. The oil's coming out already. Okay. Oh my gosh, look at that. The ABC sensor actually went in by itself. Holy cow, that's amazing. That just saves me a lot of time. I was going to make sure it's in there all the way. That is so cool. Okay, that just saved me a lot of work. So now what I'm going to do actually is just do a dry run here. I'm going to close this so the oil doesn't get out. As you can see, it's getting a little messy already. I just want to see what it looks like. Oh yeah, see, actually no, that air bubble is not, oh no, yeah, it's, damn it. I can see the air bubble right here on the 3 o'clock side. You see how it's getting there? So it's the same thing. Okay, so this is going to be a little, not as easy as I had hoped or wanted it to be. So we got to push, we're going to have to push the oil in there. So we're going to put this in here temporarily. Going to have to take the module back out, which is going to be even more messy, but that's just what happens. Okay. And now the module's covered in oil, so you're going to want to put it somewhere different, because it's going to... Okay. Now comes the fun part. Is how do we... Yeah, I can kind of see it there already. Alright, so gotta get some kind of a squeegee type tool, which I have one of these for applying screens to phones. So I'm just gonna cut it a little smaller. And now comes the annoying part. Alright. This might be kind of hard to do off camera. Or I'm sorry, do it on camera, so I might have to go off so I can kind of look over it. So I'll pause it and I'll be back. Okay, so I pushed out the air bubbles from that little screen. I put the module back in, and now we're going to top it off with oil. So you want it fully submerged when you put the cap back on, so you don't get any air trapped in there. Okay, so let me see. And obviously this is a messy process, no way around that. I'm gonna try to, I need to elevate this one side a little bit. Where's my little squeegee toy? Okay, that looks pretty good. Again, very messy process. Okay, so at this point it's fully submerged. It might be a good idea to maybe if you have the ability to let it sit like this for a little bit of time to let any air come out, but I don't know if any actually would. Alright, now we got to put the springs back in, so this is going to get, I should have done this sooner. That's my mistake, because now it's going to be a little harder to do. Oh boy. Alright, you know what? Just so I know where the springs go, I'm going to put this in first. Because this will kind of guide me where the spring should go. Actually, I got this the other way around. I should be like this. Right? No, I had to write the right way. Okay, sorry about that. Some of these springs, not springs, the little tabs that hold the module in place get in the way of this rubber gasket. So let's try this again. There we go. Okay. This way I can kind of now know for sure where the springs go. I probably should have put the springs in first, but it's okay. Actually, this is the goes here. Okay, one in. This is where it gets a little tricky. So that's my mistake. I should have done this, put these in before the oil. Would have been easier, but and now with the slippery hands, it's a little harder. There we go. One more. Come on, come on. And it's actually what's harder now is that the oil is kind of creating a bit of an illusion, makes it hard to get it straight on. Okay. Alright, so we're going to top off a little more oil because I spilled some over the ridge. Okay. Now our top. I think I need more oil. This makes me nervous. This is just a little too shallow, so we're going to have to top it off some more. At this point, might as well use all of it, because I don't want any air get trapped in there. Okay, now we screw it in. Man, this is messy. Forgot how messy this is. I might have not done this now that I'm all into it. I just hope I don't drop a screw. If I drop a screw, it's going to make things very difficult. Oh my gosh, this is such a mess. Oh my gosh. I don't even know why I'm doing this. No! Okay. Drop the screw. Damn it. Of all the places, god damn it. Alright. The reason that's bad is I don't want to, like, take this out and have air get in there. Like I suspect maybe it happened now. So I'm not going to tighten these all the way. So what I want to do is make sure any air escapes. Alright, let's just add more oil. At this point, who cares? Now if this were to spill on my desk, man, what a mess this would be. Okay, moment of truth. Oh, son of a bitch. Look what happened, guys. I forgot to put this. What? How annoying is that? How... Shit. Well. Oh my gosh. That's really annoying. I gotta start all over. I think I'll probably throw this plastic mat out afterwards. But as you can see, sometimes no matter how many times you do this, you still make mistakes. And that's a big mistake because fuck. Oh my gosh, now if this gets ruined all because of this bonehead mistake, that's gonna make me really mad. That something as simple as forgetting a giant part that's sitting there right in front of you is gonna be really annoying. And everything has to come out. Everything. This is a huge mistake on my end to not catch that. So now I gotta take everything out, including the module, which is gonna be a freaking pain because I already put this. Well, actually, you know what? I did see a mistake. I forgot to clip the sensor back in. So what a mistake this was. I tell you, what a mistake. And why is this not coming out? It's much harder to do this now with the oil because I can't really see straight because everything is distorted. And I don't want to make any strong moves and risk that splashing everywhere. There we go. Not sure why this was so hard. Alright, let's get that screw out. Let's take a look what we got here. Got some dust. Okay, that's good. That would have drove me nuts. Anything else down there? What I want to do actually is try to get some clean oil back on top. Now I gotta figure out how this goes. Which one's the top? Okay, like that. Oh, what is that? Did the air bubble come back? Okay. Hope I didn't get air back in there. Okay. Round 2. Oh boy, this is much messier than the square that I did because more parts to deal with. Okay. Hope I didn't discourage anyone from doing this because I would be. You have to kind of, this module has to kind of go a little more square into there. And I tell you that the real difficulty here is not being able to see anything really well. Alright, I'll have to put the other end in first, just hold this sensor out, might be quicker. Alright, I have my in. Oh man. See, this is why sometimes I skip over all this stuff because it takes a long time, but then I know people comment because they want to see it, so that's why I'm showing it. Okay. And this is all because I forgot that stupid plastic part. That's what makes me mad. That this would have been done. This would have been done, cleaned up on my wrist already. Instead, here I am. Okay, it's still not in all the way. Is it? I can't tell now. The oil kind of creates this kind of distortion that it's hard to tell if the swatch is in all the way. I don't think it is. No, it's not in all the way. Alright, we may have to take a pause here and have to do this off camera because it's kind of really hard. Okay, I got it back in, so I just had to kind of put my head over and see straight because the oil creates this kind of distortion, so you can't quite see well. But it looks like we got everything now. Put in the springs now. And I'm probably gonna have to just throw this plastic mat out because it's gonna be so full of oil that cleaning it is gonna be near impossible. And that's really the hardest part right now. Everything's kind of distorted, so kind of makes it difficult to work with these tiny little parts because everything's off like a tiny bit. My God, this is so hard. There we go. I feel like a dentist trying to work in like these small crevices and not be able to see well. Okay. Got this in as good as we're gonna get. Should this be flatter? No, I don't. I'm starting to doubt myself. See if the buttons work. Buttons appear to work. I feel like it should be sitting a little shallower. I think it's okay, I can't quite tell. You want to push the buttons in a few times, push any air out. As you can see, there's some air bubbles coming out when I do that. Okay. All right, here we go again. I'm gonna try really hard not to drop any screws. Yeah, this silicone oil is very thin. This is actually what you'd probably want to use for analog watches because it's so thin that it's not gonna, cause resistance on the hands. Hey. All right, moment of truth. Oh man, it does look good. Can already see the difference. All right. It looks good from everything I see here, so I'm gonna go get this cleaned up and put together, and then we're gonna do a final look.